Hey everyone, Hannah here, coming at you with another video, this time about something very personal, my own tattoos. I hope that as I create these videos, I can show you something about my life that brings me a lot of joy, and hopefully I can spread a little bit of that joy into each and every one of your hearts. Tattoos are very personal to me. Every single one of these has a big psychological significance to me, and yes, even the Pokemon ones. I selected all of these in a rather quick time frame, but I feel like I did a good job of correctly displaying what things I find valuable and meaningful in my life and that have brought me a lot of comfort throughout the years. Now, obviously, I try to make all of my tattoos as aesthetically pleasing as possible, but I understand that everybody has very different tastes, and I'm sure somebody could look at my tattoos with all the bright colors and think it looks very trashy, and I definitely think tattoos are a very personal thing. I mean, to display a message either in word or picture form on your body about who you are and what your values are and the things you care about, I think is a pretty powerful message to send to people, especially if you put it in somewhere where everybody can always see, like your forearm or your wrist or something. I think that says a lot about a person, that they're willing to stand by their morals and the things that they love that bring them so much joy, no matter what anybody says. So I figured I should go in order of the work that I've had done, from the thing I got done first to the most recent tattoo that I have done. And the very first tattoo I ever got was the Plur tattoo underneath my arm. And I remember going to the tattoo artist with my friend to get my first tattoo, and I was very apprehensive and I couldn't really think of what I wanted for it. And I thought that I was, behind the curve because I had no idea, but while I was actually on the way there, I happened to look something up and it kind of sparked my imagination. And I decided to go with peace, love, unity, and respect, done in a rainbow color. And this really just symbolizes all of the beautiful moments and memories that EDM has brought me, as well as my own connections to my own gender identity. I truly believe that EDM was a big part in me accepting myself. And when I see this tattoo, I think back to all of the beautiful memories that I've had, and there's one in specific that stands out to me the most. At EDC Las Vegas, when I went there, a random person came up to me and we traded candy. They gave me a compliment on my outfit, and then they offered me their angel wings that were on their back, and we just talked for a couple of minutes about how beautiful the night was there and how beautiful each and every person at that music festival was. And that was a really special moment for me because it was the first time I had felt acceptance from a random stranger for being who I am and for doing the things that I do. So it just kind of made me think about the world as a whole, and made me think that maybe this is a place I can live and live happily and not be scared of what other people are going to feel about who I am or the things I do. So after the excitement of my first tattoo, I quickly rushed into my second, as I wanted to display more beautiful things on my body that told a lot about my story to somebody by just a few seconds glance. And so the next tattoo I got were these three birds here on my shoulder, Articuno, Zapdos, and Moltres. And this was actually inspired by a old trading card from the Pokemon game. I'll put that up here. And I really enjoyed the imagery behind this card and how they're all kind of balancing but also destroying the world at the same time. And that was kind of the idea behind this whole piece. And eventually the idea is to add the fire, the electricity, and the ice swirling around the birds to create this more into of a half sleeve effect. But I have so many other things I want to get tattooed that it always often falls to the wayside because I just want to start something new to get that new tattoo fix. Pokemon has always been there for me and has allowed me to escape into a fantasy world full of magnificent creatures and just take my mind off of every little stressor that I've had in my life, and everything from when I was a child. I remember playing it on my Game Boy, to as a young adolescent going through the trials and tribulations of trying to figure out who you are and defining what you mean in the grand scheme of the world. Pokemon has been there throughout my life to provide an escape, and I love seeing the beautiful colors that all of these different creatures create as I tattooed them onto my body. Next, I began working on the tree on my left arm. This was a piece done to kind of memorialize rehab for me and put it always in the front of my mind. And I originally came to my tattoo artist about the idea for a tree because I remembered most vibrantly about rehab was that it was in the middle of the secluded woods, and there was a little tiny river that ran around, and there were trees everywhere. So when Brandon suggested to do the tattoo in watercolor, I really loved the idea, and then he decided to take it a step further and add the change of seasons represented by the different colors of the leaves throughout the tree, and showing that things always change and you always constantly need to adapt to your surroundings. And I felt like that was a really beautiful message for me personally. And on this tattoo in particular, I love the styling of it. I love the watercolor, but I also love the detail. I love the tiny little pussy willows that he put down in the bottom by the river. And even in something so small, you can still see the detail after over a year now of having this tattoo. So this tattoo has really brought me a lot of happiness, and it's usually the first one people point out whenever I get tattoo compliments. Next, I got the monkey on my thigh. And this, of course, being the monkey from Call of Duty Zombies. When I was deciding to get this tattoo, I wanted to get something to memorialize all the beautiful moments that Call of Duty has brought me, and all of the times I spent many, many nights staying up late to get to high rounds or just chatting with my friends over the internet, and the ultimate escape that provided in the same way that Pokemon did. So as I was looking around at different concept art, I debated with the idea of doing a wonder weapon from the game, specifically the Wonder Waff. But then I didn't really like the idea of having a weapon, even a imaginary one, tattooed on my body because of the connections that people might make, and my own personal feelings about guns in the real world wouldn't really match well with having a gun on my body. So ultimately I decided to go with the Symbol Monkey. It's something that I find is at least aesthetically interesting, if not pleasing, and I just feel like it perfectly represents everything that Nazi Zombies is as a whole, because you use it in the game to distract the zombies, usually in a situation where you need to help somebody else out. And I just really love being able to go up to other people, and when fellow gamers see my tattoo, they go, "Oh, cool monkey. Wait, is that the monkey from Call of Duty Zombies?" Next up, we have the 4 words on my left wrist: hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. This is actually something I learned in rehab, and it's the idea that if one of those 4 things is out of whack in your life, it's going to cause you to make decisions that you're going to often regret. And it's basically saying that you should fulfill those first 4 needs first before you fulfill anything else, and make sure that those 4 super strong emotions that you can feel aren't infecting your decision making. Fun fact about this one, it's done in the handwriting of a friend of mine that I met in rehab, and I just think it's so cool that you can completely copy somebody else's handwriting, so that way you have the words being spoken from them to you on your body forever. I love seeing it every day, and it serves as a constant reminder of how far I've come and how I need to continue to stay vigilant, because at any moment things can change, and I could get very emotional about things, and I don't want that to change my status on the last time I used. Next, we have the Eevee on my right arm. Eevee is one of my favorite Pokemon. I love that it can transform into so many different things depending on its environment and how it was treated from the time it was born. And I feel like it's a perfect representation of how you have so many different paths in life, and depending on what you do and the choices that you make today, it'll change you into something else down the road entirely. Plus, it helps that Eevee is just so darn cute, because I love being able to see that every day. Last but not least, we have the Yu-Gi-Oh! Change of Heart on my left shoulder. This is something that I wanted to incorporate Yu-Gi-Oh! Imagery with, and when I came across Change of Heart, I was super thrilled at the idea. It perfectly represents how inside of every person there's this good and this evil, and you can constantly change from one side to the other depending on a decision that you make. In the game, the card is used to make an opponent's monster turn on their owner and start attacking them instead. And so I feel like that's a perfect representation of how bad decisions can lead you to physically harm yourself at a later date. It reminds me that I'm not perfect, and that I need to constantly keep in mind the battle between the evil parts of me and the good parts of me. So that's it for all the tattoos that I have currently. I'm sure I'm going to continue to add to them in the future, and I have many, many more ideas, so I'm sure I can do updates on this later on in my life, because I definitely have plans for at least most of my arms, if not some things for the legs as well. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. That really helps get my content out there and get to more people and hopefully brighten somebody else's day. If you have anything to comment about your own tattoos and your inspirations for them, I'd love to see that in the comment section below as well. Subscribe if you want to stay tuned and get to see more of these more personal style videos. Until next time, stay happy and stay safe.